Do 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 do. You're looking for trouble. You came to the right place. That would be the Farnsworth Library. All right, well.
And look who joined us.
We have a special guest on today's show.
Yes.
The 1968 Elvis is with us. We just watched the Elvis special.
Oh, thank goodness.
Now known as the 1968 comeback special.
It was a nice pick-me-up from all the bad movies.
Mm-hmm. He's gotten his mojo back. The lion is out of the cage.
It was great.
Can you imagine 1968? Some of you probably can. Sitting in your living rooms, December, and Elvis comes into your living room.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Sounding good.
This is, I would say to anyone who doesn't know much about Elvis or wants, just sort of a quick hit of everything that's great about Elvis, this is the thing to tune into. He runs through his entire career of sort of the early days, the big hits. He does a bit of some of the movie hits.
Could have done without that, but
it's stylized.
the music was fine, but
it's stylized in a way of the 60s where there are a lot of dancers and go-go's and whatever.
And some of the most hideous women, they drudge them up from somewhere.
You love to rate the women.
They're just, I just think he should be surrounded by pretty. And he's not.
Well,
maybe that's to make him prettier.
I don't know. Does he need help?
No. He looks good.
So the movie, it starts off with him singing on stage, close up, and then it pulls back to him with a guitar alone on the stage with the sort of the set piece that reminds you of Jailhouse Rock, where all the cages and all these sort of people in the silhouettes of people. And then after that segment, it cuts to an informal jam, a small crowd, but mostly old original band members and a couple new, just sitting around jamming, doing something that he hasn't been able to do in 10 years. He really hasn't toured or been in concert in a long time. And he just sits informally and plays and sounds great and having fun and talking. You get to see Elvis, which was pretty rare. He rarely ever kind of just talked or sat around. He's always very scripted or programmed. Tom Parker wanted this to be a Christmas special where he sang songs, Christmas songs, and this turned into Let's Let Elvis Out of the Cage. And
it was great.
And everyone was unsure what was going to happen here. Elvis didn't know if he could do it. He didn't know how the audience would respond since time had passed him by. Tom Parker wasn't real pleased when he was seeing what was going on because he likes full control, and he sort of lost control in this. But the results were amazing, and Elvis gets to talk and explain how rock and roll is a mixture of gospel and rhythm and blues, and he shows you some segments. And at first it's a little off-putting. You're kind of like, what's he doing? But as you watch it, you can see what he's talking about, how the roots of music come through this music and form into this new thing called rock and roll. Then, he just kind of, he does a little movie segment where he kind of acts a little bit, but in a way he sort of reinterprets songs that were kind of laughable and puts a rock and roll edge on them, and they're kind of interesting. And then the whole set piece will finish off with, he was very moved by the times. The 60s was turbulent times, and Martin Luther King was killed, and the race riots were going on, and he didn't think entertainers should have a lot to say on those subjects. They should just be entertainers, but he was moved to want to do something, and so he recorded this song called If I Can Dream, and it finishes off with, it's a big ballad, and he looks like a kind of like a preacher dressed all up in white, and he preaches to the service, to the sermon, to the choir. So it's a fabulous piece, all in all, to round out everything that Elvis is about. I can't recommend it more. So,
agree.
Yeah. So this isn't a movie. This is just a performance piece.
To lift our spirits.
Yeah. And if we're going to rate it, it's clearly a 5.
Yes.
Sorry. That's just it.
Yes, it is.
But it's sort of, it's not really the movie, and we're going to get back to that. We have a couple movies left. That will be Charo is next up on the list, and that is the Western we had talked about. And so we'll be getting to you on that pretty soon. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right then. We'll see you later.
See ya. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.